delicious Singapore hawker food at Maxwell Food Centre. Welcome to another food adventure with Getting Lost. We are here at Maxwell Food Centre to eat lots of delicious foods like this delicious fish soup and this dish which is called a bati. Yes, bati. And some curry chicken which you eat together with rice, and a Malay noodle dish which is called mee rebus, translated boiled noodles, and a goreng pisang or a banana fritter. While watching the intro, why don't I suggest you click on the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it if you can help me do that. And see you after the intro. Welcome back. We are now at Maxwell Food Centre. Maxwell Food Centre is a very good food centre with lots of good food to eat, lots of delicious foods, lots of different foods. And in this video, we're going to explore some of the different foods you can get here. And one of the unique stores that you can find here is this shop called Old Nyonya. Nyonya is actually another word for Peranakan. And Peranakan is actually a name for the descendants of Chinese immigrants who came to the Malay archipelago between the 15th and 17th century. But when you look at the menu here is not really Peranakan food, but it's more like Malay food. And the dish I ordered from the store, the first dish I ordered was actually chicken curry served together with rice. This cost me $4.50. The curry itself is a bit light. It's not thick, but it's also not diluted. When you taste the curry itself, you can taste that the base of the curry is actually a very good chicken stock. The chicken itself is tender, but it seems to me like the chicken may have been cooked at another pot then later placed together with the curry. The quality of the chicken curry itself is quite decent, but they don't really sell Nyonya food here. It's more like Chinese inspired Malay food. So the next dish I ordered from here is actually their mee rebus. This mee rebus cost me $3.50, and as you can see, the gravy in these noodles itself is slightly lighter than you get from the normal gravy you get from a Malay store. The noodles is the same, which is an egg noodles, and surprisingly they did the egg noodles very well. The noodle texture here is well done very well, and has a very satisfying bite to eat. But the basic taste of the gravy itself is a bit sweeter and less spices than the normal Malay type. All the condiments that they put on top of the noodles itself actually goes very well with the noodles and gives it an additional layer of taste that makes this mee rebus itself quite well done. I actually really like this mee rebus, even though it's not the original Malay style mee rebus, but it tastes almost the same, almost. And another shop here also sells Nyonya food, and that shop is called Popo and Nana's Delights. And you can get various types of food, and the food they sell actually depends on the day of the week. So each day they will sell certain dishes, and another day they sell different dishes. So on one of those days that I went there, I ordered this dish, which cost me $6. It's a set, comes together with soup, and it's the beef rendang. So this is the soup itself. And then together with the rice, I actually ordered some stewed vegetables. The stewed vegetables, everything, nothing special about it. The soup also was actually okay. But the beef rendang. This beef rendang is very different than the normal beef rendang you get from Nyonya Food or from a Malay food store. The beef chunks here is extremely tender, but the curry mix itself, the rendang mix itself is a bit different. It has the basic taste of rendang, but much lighter. Sometimes I can taste maybe they add in some grated coconut together with the rendang itself, but overall a very different rendang, but also something interesting, something different to try, and something that goes well with rice. And look, I just going to show you how tender the beef is. Look at that. It can break so easily using this plastic spoon. Look at that. It's really, really tender and really nice. Just that the rendang curry itself is a bit different than what you expect. Other than that, it's actually quite a nice dish, quite interesting. Another menu item is this item here called pork ribs buah keluak, and this set cost me $6 again. And this time, for my vegetable, I chose achar. Achar is actually a pickled vegetable. And this achar itself is okay, just that it's slightly a bit sour. But what's interesting about this dish itself is the buah keluak. Buah keluak is actually a fruit that's actually poisonous. But you need to have special preparation and fermentation of the fruit itself to remove the poison. Then you can use it as an ingredient to cook. So this buah keluak itself gives the dish a very earthy taste. And the pork ribs in total is a bit sour, oily, and a bit spicy. But one thing about this pork keluak, it is a bit oily. But it gives you lots of pork ribs, but the pork ribs itself have a lot of bones in it. Overall, a very interesting dish, something that I will eat off and on, but not too often. Another unique store here, especially for hawker center, is this store called Lad and Dad, and they sell British food. British food in Singapore is not very common. Not many places sell British food here, and finding it in the hawker center is of course quite rare. But as you can see on the menu itself, they sell lots of different British food, and this is the item that I bought, which cost me $5, and this is called a bati. This is the first time I'm trying this dish, and I'm quite interested. First of all, the bun itself is nice and soft, and then you have a fried egg, and then cheese, and then crispy bacon, and then a hash brown, and then another bun. So this dish itself, one thing I really like about it is the layers. When you bite into it, you can taste the different layers. When you bite into it, you have the soft bread on top, then you have the crunchy bacon, all the way through crunchy bacon, and then you get a different type of crunch from the hash brown itself, because the hash brown itself outside is crispy, inside is soft, so you got a different crunch from that. And then you have the saltiness from the cheese, and then the egg, which is also a different type of softness, and then all together held together by the bun, which is extremely good. But one thing is, it's a bit salty and a bit oily, but other than that, really, really nice and really delicious. Another dish on the menu is actually their fish and chips. These fish and chips, they use haddock fish, and it costs $10. The fish itself is fresh and also it's a bit moist inside, and the batter that is surround this fish is super crispy. You also have tartar sauce and also mashed peas and also fries. The fish itself is not very flaky, but the skin itself is totally crispy. The fries itself also is crispy. The peas is just mashed peas, that's all, nothing else. Tartar sauce also a bit too little, and overall I felt that this dish was a bit dry, because normally when I eat fries, when I eat fish and chips, I want it to have more tartar sauce. I need to have chili sauce or ketchup. Here, don't have any sauce, so overall, it's very, very dry. But that's because of my preference. And the British, when they eat the fish and chips, they also have vinegar, which also adds in some moisture into the dish, which is not present here. Up next is this shop called Yijia Teochew Fish Porridge and Soup. And this shop here actually sells fish soup. And this is the menu. And they also sell two types of fish, the normal fish and pomfret. Pomfret is actually a species of fish where the meat is more tender. And a lot of people like pomfret, but the price itself is more expensive, as you can see from the menu there. And this shop itself, from the time they open to the time they close, there's always a queue for this fish soup. So the only way to eat this fish soup is to join the queue. And as you can see, they also display at the counter there all the fish slices freshly cut for you to see. And these are all the different types of condiments they can add to your chili sauce, which is slightly different than other places. And also another thing is, the fish soup is prepared fresh as you order it. So basically they have a pot of the base soup, and then these fish slices where they will put into pots to cook it with the soup, the fish stock, soup stock, and they do it individually as you order it. And the fish itself here, as you can see, is super fresh, and they also display the fish for you to see. This is the fish soup I ordered. I ordered the $4 portion, extra 50 cents for the rice. When you look at the soup itself, the soup seems very clear, very clean, but don't be fooled by the appearance. The soup itself is super flavorful, very delicious. And the fish slice in this soup itself is another miracle. It has an extremely good bite texture to it. Somehow they are able to cook the fish slices and maintain the firmness in the fish itself, and the fish itself is really delicious. The fish is also, when you bite into it, you can taste it's already seasoned, and the soup itself tastes exactly like the seasoning. This soup itself is perfect the way it is, very delicious, very good. The only thing is you may want to add a bit of cut chili to add in a slight chili kick to it, but other than that, perfect and delicious. And lastly, we are having some desserts at Lim Kee Banana Fritters. As you can see on top there, they actually use a special type of banana called King Raja banana. And other than that, they also sell a variety of other types of deep fried snacks. But what they do well here is their banana fritters or goreng pisang, which costs $1.80. This is the goreng pisang itself. First of all, it has a really nice, crispy and thick outer layer, which protects a soft and tender and moist and sweet and warm, delicious banana. It's almost custard-like banana inside there. It's very delicious, it's very good, and it's good to the last bite. And look at that, look at the inside. Doesn't that look delicious? Unfortunately, after 70 years of operations, the store owner has announced that they'll be closing their store permanently at the end of 2018. So if you are a fan of goreng pisang or banana fritters, you need to get down here and eat it before you lose your chance to try it forever. So, I hope you enjoyed our food adventure here at Maxwell Food Center. Like I told you, this place have lots of good food, and I have eaten lots of good food here. And hopefully you will come down here and eat lots of good food too. And before we go, as per usual, please help me by liking my video, sharing my video, and subscribing to my channel. And lastly, the most important thing, the thing that you must do is to join me for my next food adventure. Until then, bye bye!